Now we've got our structure right and we're working to an optimum on a daily basis. We're now giving ourselves the best opportunity to get hold of every lead, and we're effectively converting more leads in our pipeline. We now need to look at our follow-up process, okay? So let's picture this, a typical sales scenario. We have an initial call. It goes really well. We typically will then convert it into a demo, online demo, and of course, a face-to-face presentation. It's going really well, and obviously we look to close it initially on that call. But unfortunately, something stops it from going ahead. Okay, we've all heard the excuses, right? I need to speak to my business partner, I need to speak to my mum, and the world famous, I need to speak to my dog. So, as you can see with the follow-up, we need to make sure that we're effectively following up. The problem is, I've been in so many sales teams that don't have an effective follow-up and ultimately look like this. Now, one disclaimer is no animals were hurt in this video, just to be clear. So, what does a typical sales funnel look like? Okay, so number one, the leads come in, as we mentioned earlier. We'll then look to complete a demonstration, and we'll then look to send a proposal. Now, I don't know if you guys saw the report out last week. 80% of sales in the UK take a minimum of 5 follow-ups before they win the deal. That's 80% of sales in the UK take a minimum of 5 follow-ups before we close a deal, yet sales team can't effectively follow up. So we need to look at how our sales team right now are effectively following up with each lead to make sure you're giving yourself the best opportunity. Well, first of all, we need to make sure we understand what the situation is. So we've come to the end of the call, and there's a problem. Typically, that's an objection problem, or typically they need to speak to someone, they need to find out from someone, or there's someone else involved. Okay? Well, first of all, we need to repeat that back to them, so they're on the same page as us. Then we need to book a time and a date in their calendar to make sure they've got it in their calendar to follow up. For example, the problem we see is typical response: when should I follow up when you'll be in a position to move forward? Call me next week. Okay, what happens? We just call next week, and we call the week after, and we keep calling, and all we get is voicemail and frustration. So what do? We send them the typical, should I close your account, da-da-da-da-da, okay? So first of all, we need to recap with them what is the problem stopping them from going ahead. So we're both on the same page. Then we need to book a time and a date in their calendar and have them accept it while we are still on the phone. I always do this. When you have a prospect on the phone, I've just sent you a calendar invite titled X, Y, and Z to talk about X, Y, and Z. Can you please accept it while we're on the phone call so it goes into your calendar so we don't miss each other? Okay? Then the final step to that is send a follow-up email recapping what you've already agreed. Okay? So it's pretty simple, yet so many people fail to do this.